just say this to something else other than the golf course, does that overburden the easement? And if so, what does that mean to us? The other last question I have is, are we postponing the inevitable? Is the golf course going to effectively be a viable institution long term? If not, what are we going to do then? If we enter into an agreement, even if we had deed restrictions, all that goes down the tubes if it goes into bankruptcy court. So I don't have an answer in the world. And all those years in school didn't help me one damn bit. So you need to get some answers from some really good, clever attorneys. But this is not a simple problem. And I wish I could make it simpler for people, but it's not black and white. And good luck to you all. Got to run up there.
Howard Dittmeyer, 4961 Vincent Ford. My only question to the board and all everybody here in the audience is, how in the world do people now describe extortion? And I really not like it, and I really don't care, okay? But in 1963, when I joined the Navy, our enemy was the Russians. Did we fold or did we fight? We fought, okay? Now, wait a minute. If you want to talk, come on, okay? Compare Dr. Lee to some gang downtown. They only won $150 a year, $300,000 a year right now. Otherwise, that 8-foot wall out there ain't very doggone secure for you. Is that how you want to live? I'll tell you what you do. We go to Dr. Lee and we say, okay, we're going to agree to give you $300,000 a year. We're going to raise our dues. But we're not giving it to you. We're going to buy your stock. Now you got a $6 million golf course. We're going to start buying your stock. $20,000 a year, 10 years, that's $3 million. You own 50. You now own 50% of the golf course. The following year, you own controlling interest. Because the stock you're going to buy is only stock that Dr. Lee and his two partners own. They cannot issue brand new stock. And you end up owning it. That's a hell of a lot better than 10 years from now, you shelling out a couple $1,000s a year to Dr. Lee. Okay? The other thing is, and I've asked the board to inquire with our attorney on this, Dr. Lee owns 3 golf courses. I worked for a company that was bought by somebody, and they bled our company dry and bankrupt our company by supporting the one that they had that was failing. We don't know what Dr. Lee is doing with all the profits from this golf course. We need to find out. Does the Sienna Golf Club LLC own all 3, or just this one? Now, I don't know. But if it's just this one, what kind of fees is this golf course paying to Dr. Lee and his partners' other interests that are running this golf course? Management fees and so forth. That's the information we got to find out. But let's not give somebody an extortionist money just because it's the easy way out. Let's force the guy to sell his stock over a period of time. He still makes his 5%, whether he likes it or not, but he loses his stock, 1 share at a time. And he can't up the cost, and he can't issue any more stock for this organization. I'm done.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hey there, how are you guys? Nice to see you on that side. I'm Mike Cutler, 4680 Gennaro. Just a couple of comments. One, I have no interest in owning a golf course. I have no interest in owning a golf course because after you buy it, you got to maintain it, and then it gets to be a problem. I know you guys have thought about this, but I'm just kind of putting it on the record. If you can get the 75% approval to change whatever rule in the 16Rs, I do hope when you negotiate something that it's at minimum a 5-year deal so that it doesn't go up next year, and then next year, and then next year, and then lock in a percentage increase that it can go up after that. So we know long-term what we're facing. And then finally, if there's a way that you can look at your budget in the first year of this agreement and are able to hold off landscaping or maybe some other major issues and begin the first year with an $8 increase or $6 increase and then graduate that, it might make it a little easier for some people here who think 1250 is a pretty big hit. So just to consider. Thanks.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jim Buell, 10464 Premier Place. I just have a few questions that I would just like to throw out there. In terms of zoning and land use, for example, when this place was platted, I mean, what kind of rules and regulations is it platted for? Or if it was agricultural land? I mean, can they even go ahead and build any property or any homes up there? Could they do anything, for example, any high-rise type of a building? But the whole question of land use, and I'm not going to take very much time here, I have a variety of questions that I would like to leave with the board, but the whole issue, what about tax breaks? Was there any tax breaks given to either the original developer here or to the golf course for that matter? What's the value of those tax breaks? What's the value of those tax breaks as it relates to us as owners here in Siena? And there's a second group of questions, and again, I will leave these with the board, have to do with community issues. Ostensibly, we own the streets here. What's the access points to all the property? I mean, right now, it's pretty easy for a golf cart to get on the golf course. Are we going to be forced into having to put some kind of streets onto the golf course? I mean, that whole question of land use and what's the relationship in terms of access? I think that the access is a huge thing. What about the access to the main entrance? Is that street ours? Do we maintain? I think we maintain it. What's the relationship there currently between the golf course and the HOA? Once again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I too agree with lots of people that have said before, $50 or $12.50 a month is not an awful lot. But as the gentleman just a couple before me, I hate to get into an extortion situation. I think that would be terrible. And as long as we're looking at some kind of a 5 to 10 year contract, that's one thing. But if we're in a position where we're going to have to raise this $12.50, as he said, $20 or $25 in a year from now, that's a whole different kind of a question. I appreciate the time and thank you very, very much. Thank you. Good evening, Earl.
Good evening. Orel Gibson, Magira Place, and despite my accent, I am intending to live here for the rest of my days. Last night I filled out the questionnaire and I thought very carefully about it. And I tore the whole thing up this afternoon. That was because after the lady golfers came in from golf, Tom Blenkinsop, who's the general manager, came in. I don't think it was by accident. I think he wanted to talk to us. And he told us of his plans, and I saw the whole thing in a completely different light. And I just want to ask firstly the board, are you going to tell the meeting tonight what the plans are for development on their side? Because I'm sure he wouldn't have told 10 lady golfers if he hadn't told you. And I think the meeting needs to be informed of what skeleton plans they have for the development of the golf course. Are you going to tell us later on in this meeting what Tom Blenkinsop told us about the development of the land?
Arel, I will give you as much time as you want for you to tell us what you heard.
Oh, I'm sure you will be fascinated. Right. There is no intention, first of all, of closing the golf course. It will be redeveloped. 2 holes and the practice ground would be built on. They would be single-storey dwellings in the same pattern as Sienna homes, and he hoped that Sienna would adopt these homes and we would take the revenue from these homes, so they would be absorbed into, he hoped, the Sienna community. The other bits that would be built on would be the two lower lakes, and some of you will have noticed the poor turtles are dying for lack of oxygen because the levels of water are going down. Well, they're not maintaining those lakes. Obviously, it's a question of finance. And I know that they would want to sell those two lakes to us, don't they? Yeah. We have a beautiful outlook from the library and the rotunda, and if we don't take those lakes, then they will be built on, and the whole picture of Sienna will be very much changed. It will be not as beautiful, anything like as beautiful as it is now. So all this talk about closure of the golf course is a no-no. It isn't going to close. It will be redesigned. There will still be 18 holes, but 2 holes in the practice ground will go if we don't come up with the payment. And so I think that is an interesting insight into what's going on in their heads, and I was fascinated. Tom did also say that there would be a return on the monthly payment that the Sienna residents would make. So if you're thinking of $150 a year, you can count on at least $50 of that coming back in either vouchers for golf or vouchers for the bistro. And I'm sure everybody could use an odd breakfast at the bistro. It's really good value for money. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Roll call first. 10495, David A. Roll 10495, David A. They say they're not making any money. I don't know, but I heard last year they did make a profit. Now, he's looking to make 5% profit. Yeah, $3,000 would give that 5%. Okay, if with the new building across the street, the golf course, if the business picks up, they get a sign, the business picks up, and are we gonna audit their books every year so we know if they're making that 5%? We don't have to chip in, right? If that's all he wants is the 5%, it doesn't have to go on forever. If they're making money, they get somebody there who knows how to manage their golf course, they should be able to make some money.
Thank you.
My name is Phil Levine, 4208. Phil Levine, 4208. I am.
I've heard about it.
Okay, 4208 Dr. Bell.
Okay. A lot of people have said a lot of intelligent things about what's going on here. First of all, my view, I mean, $150 a year as a commitment, I think we can all recognize is it's not a big deal in relation to the downside. But this whole issue, I mean, there's question one, have we ever looked at a financial statement of the golf course as he presented that? Have we looked at his financial condition in regards to what the debt structure is on the financials? There's a lot of questions. I mean, from a practical standpoint, you look at it and you don't think there's too much of a likelihood that this property, because it's so intertwined with our property, our streets, not the city streets, how anyone could ever build other than, as they said, as the woman said, a couple of units. So the questions, the real questions, have to do with negotiations. What Marvin said is very true, and it's probably one of the more troubling things that I have, which is if we pay the 150 this year, next year, it's going to be what? 175, 250? Well, the question is, how do we negotiate? How do we get something for our money? We are not going to own that golf course. That is insane, you think. That makes any sense at all. But how do we get something that, one, we get the respect of Mr. Lee, that he knows he can't just walk all over us? That it's not gonna be, oh yeah, guys, 300 grand this year, 400 grand next year, 500 grand. Hey, these guys aren't fighting too much. I can raise the price every year. The question is, what can we get for our dollars? Because it's certainly, you know, something we can't just ignore, obviously. But it would be nice to know, financially, how does he stand? What are our options? And this is not a legal situation. This is a financial situation. This is where you need guys like the president, who's a negotiator, to come up with what's the smartest thing to make sure that when he needs it, we get something for our money. And equity is not the issue. Maybe we can get a loan, maybe we can get trade-offs in regards to services of the golf course or services in the restaurant, something for our money. But when you fight, the other person won't take as much advantage of the future. And right now, he knows he's got cards in his hands from the standpoint of the downside to us is not worth the upside. I mean, that is absolutely true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Harry Swallow. I live at 5187 Pinseer. I hear a lot of talk, mainly from everyone, about how long they've lived here or how short they've lived here. I don't believe our rights are based on how long or how short we've lived here. I have a terrible neighbor. It's the golf course. My objection to the golf course is the attitude from the pro at the pro shop to Tom that I spoke to on the phone with legitimate suggestions to compromise. And I was told he had no budget to compromise. I'm talking about noise. They were outside my house at 10 o'clock at night, working on a green until 11 o'clock at night. That makes them a bad neighbor. If I make noise, my neighbors have a right to come and complain to me and to security and to try and get something done about it. Tom's attitude was, I don't have it in the budget, I'm losing money. I offered to pay for mufflers for his equipment. I offered to install it on his equipment. His attitude was, well, I don't know if we can have you touch our equipment. You know, how long have you lived there? We've been around this golf course for 19 years. And my question is, you've been doing it for 19 years, you're losing $200,000 or $300,000 a year. What the hell are you going to do next week or next month about trying to make a profit? Oh, after being a bad neighbor, I can see where the profit is. Change the attitude of the people in that golf course. Don't pay tribute to tyrants.
My name is Jane Rivera, 4439 Bella Cascada. My husband and I bought in October. We've invested quite a bit of money into the interior of our house and the exterior of our house, only to find out that this has actually been a topic of discussion with the board members for well over a year. So all I am asking of you is, we know that there's lots of questions being asked this evening, there's a lot of confusion, but I honestly am feeling like there has not been full disclosure. So I'm asking of the board going forward that you please disclose to us everything that has happened between you and Mr. Lee and his corporation in the past, and everything as it moves forward, so we can stay informed to make some intelligent decisions as a community. Thank you.
My name is Brenda Frank. I live at 4684 Versailles. I think that several people have made really good points about finance and even about the aesthetics of the community. But something I haven't heard about, which matters to me coming from New York, is safety. We worry about people coming over the outside walls. I live on the golf course, and I picture homes there, not just because of the aesthetic issue, but strangers living in the midst of my home, in the core central area of my home, that are not bound by our rules, by our safety, by our anything, and have easements from the street into their development in the midst of my home. By my home, I mean Sienna. And that goes all the way from the golf course to the lakes, etc. We will have people living in our very midst who don't necessarily care about our values or our safety commitments. That matters to me, and I think it should to other people as well. And the last thing I say is, I know several people in developments in Florida who thought it was a great thing for their developments to buy the golf courses. No one, there is not anyone who has not regretted that choice. Please, before you even consider it, check out these kind of issues. We don't want to get involved in them.
Bob LaFleur, 4371 Largo, Kentucky. When Barbara and I had our offer accepted for a house here, I went to the golf course. I've been an annual member of Bears Best for a number of years, and I went up there to see what I could do about it. And they offered me a price that was about 40% more than I pay every year at Bears Best, for a course that isn't as good as Bears Best. But they said, think how much closer I'd be to the clubhouse. They don't market this course. They don't manage it. They don't maintain it. We need assurances from them that they're going to try to make a profit, that they're not just out there to suck money out of the house. I just wanted to say one more thing. This meeting has been wonderful. Everybody's been positive. I think we all should give ourselves a pat on the back for the way we're acting.
My name is Victor Murray, son of the 10362 Prophetic Court. So I listened intently, and it seems the biggest concern is an assurance that whatever we do protects Sienna, keeps the golf course whole, and doesn't drain us of resources. So I proposed a letter to our Commissioner, Susan Braga, who is going to be at the next meeting, I understand. Is that correct? Dear Commissioner Susan Braga, please consider the following impact regarding the closure of Sienna Golf Course. The following is taken from the NGCOA, which is the National Golf Course Owners Association. I have the report here which I will give to the board to read. Number one, golf course property tax ranks as one of the largest expenses along with labor and maintenance. Two, the land on which a golf course are built is always subject to value transfer. Its value gets permanently reassigned to the community homes, sites, and the buildings in the development. The course itself becomes unprofitable as the round play decreases due to competition and aging of people in the golf course community. The county property tax reflects the value of homes with golf courses. And when a course closes, those valuations drop by about a third, and eventually homeowners appeal to the county for property tax relief, not to mention the loss of the golf course property tax. The report goes on to cite some remedies to golf course closures. One such state, Massachusetts, under a law known as 61B, according to its provision, course owners may continue paying taxes as they had in the past, or they can opt to pay considerable less tax if they agree not to sell the course and or allow any residential or commercial construction on it. A penalty for non-compliance is payment equal to rollback rate plus penalty. In conclusion, if the county has an interest in not losing property tax revenue from course closure, would they implement the Massachusetts type law and in addition
treat Sienna like Angel Park, Muni, or any other golf course receiving financial assistance to keep them open for the good of the county. I mean, we could change the golf course name to say Summer Golf Course at Sienna. And in conclusion, not to say that Sienna won't try to negotiate an arrangement for golf maintenance expenses, perhaps we receive the amount of course budgets for maintenance and take over that responsibility. I'm talking only about the area, from the homes to the golf course. Sienna has experience in maintenance. Since we don't need to make a profit, we would be more efficient in managing the task, and we believe with the county's help, Sienna managing the ground maintenance, property tax release of the golf course, and any other financial county aid, we all could be winners in this challenge.
Thank you very much. I'll be happy to receive your report. Thank you.
Mike Brandwood, 10351 Prophetic Court. I've been here 15 years. My first question is, with all the communities with golf courses totally separated from the houses being sold, it's easier for a developer to buy one of those golf courses where the land is for the golf course is totally free and separate, unlike ours where a thin ribbon runs through the whole community. What two developers told me about our golf course is, and they've developed all kinds of stuff, they both agreed that it would cost anyone that bought the golf course so much money to prepare the land for housing and utilities and everything else that they could never build a house to sell and pay off what they had invested into it. So our golf course is a very poor place to buy a golf course and develop it into housing. Secondly, we have already subsidized this golf course tremendously over the years. It's not the midge flies or other things that they have neglected to maintain. Landscaping, they refuse to do landscaping that looks ugly so that visitors think, why Sienna can't take care of its landscaping. And the individual owners who live on the golf courses have to pay for them much money to make, because the golf course is supposed to maintain the land, they don't. So many golf course homeowners have taken upon themselves to spend lots of money to make the golf course land behind their property look good rather than trashy. I know this one guy, he decided he was going to have his neighbor's land done well too, so that anyone that buys his house can have a nice, beautiful view. So we paid a lot of money as individuals and as a community to subsidize the terrible management of the golf course people that continually refuse to do things. A simple thing like the golf course maintenance garage gate. It has been a problem forever and ever. The board meets with them, they think they have a solution, and it's a problem again. Simple things, they just don't work with it. So it bothers me that they, has Dr. Lee and his entire staff properly demonstrated good business practices to make things run the best they could. I understand the chef was lousy, the help was lousy in the bistro. I don't know how many places they contact to get more golfers in here and deals they make. So if we gave them $1 million instead of $300,000, would they manage it any better? I doubt it.
Steve Warren, I live next door to Dave Schultz. If we give this guy money, I can't understand why we would do it. The banks haven't given him any money. Obviously, his credit line is down probably to zero. If he has to come to us for $300,000, and I think I mentioned last time, Mr. Wonderful on the Sharp Plan would ask for 51% of your business. And that's what we need to do. Start at 51%, negotiate, but don't give him $300,000 for nothing. I'm not against the $150 a year for the monthly maintenance to go up, but let's get something for our money. This golf course has tremendous potential. If anyone's ever driven down past Mesa Park, they are building thousands and thousands of homes are going up there, and how many homes are already there, I don't even know. The potential for golfers to come here, if they knew that this course was here, they'd be standing on line if it was managed and run properly. We also have another opportunity to make money there, is the grill. If we owned it and took over the property, you could rent it out. We don't have to run it. Give it to a rent. $20,000 a month each to come in for that to the restaurant to an outsider who would run that property and be open after 7 o'clock if somebody wants to go for something to eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Ed.
Good evening, Arn, and the rest of the board. Ed Minell, 142 on Monte Court. Nice neighborhood you got here. Be a shame if something happened to it. Protection money, huh? There's a lot of stuff we don't know, and I think next week we'll find out a lot more. So it's kind of hard to say what should or shouldn't be done right now because we just don't know enough. But I know protection money when I hear it. You know, it's like, give me 300,000 or else. What happens next year? What happens when we start giving him this money and now his golf course is worth a lot more and he can sell it? What control do we have over the next owner? Lots of questions. I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Alan Goldman at 4134 Riva di Sierra. Apparently, there's not enough information for anybody to really make a decision on it. You should give them the money, not give them the money. But I think what you should do is, your budget for CN is millions and millions of dollars. If you have to, if you choose to pay this amount without raising anybody's maintenance, pay it out of CN's budget and make cuts somewhere else in the budget, maybe different area where we think is best. Take the money out of the budget, and if it's not enough, then you pay a small take the money out of CN's budget without raising everybody's maintenance. See where you can make cuts in the budget and pay the money towards the golf course, if that's what you choose, naturally. But right now, there's not enough information for anybody to make a concrete decision on what should be done. So if you take the money out, see what you can cut expenses in different areas, and everybody will be happy. That's it.
Thank you. Sharon, before you proceed, are there any new speakers that would like to address the community?
Can you hear me? My name is Willie Drinks. My name is Willie Drinks, and I live at 10250 Lagos in Seneca. I'm an avid golfer, okay? And